Welcome back everyone. In this course SDLC, we are going to discuss about requirement gathering and analysis phase, especially in this section, in this video. Okay. There are broadly 4 items that I want to discuss in this course. First one is what is the goal of the phase, who are involved in this phase, what is the process, and what are the deliverables of this process or deliverables for this phase. Let's start with the goal. The goal of this phase is requirement phase is document functional and non-functional requirements. Let's get into the details and understand what are functional and non-functional requirements. The definitions. The functional requirement definition is the functional requirements generally specify or describes what the software application or product should do. There are 2 keywords here, what and should. And the non-functional requirements are, when documented, it describes how the software application needs to behave, such as response times, accessibility, web, mobile, whether the software needs to be accessible on the web, on the mobile. Now, in this day and age, the smartwatches, scalability means assume that we design the software for 10 users. In our use case, we'll go back to the use case, 10 users. What happens if we get 100 users or 1000 users or million users? Whatever the application that we are going to design, develop and implement is going to support it or not. So these are non-functional requirements. Scalability talks about the scaling, means users or how the system behaves when lot of users come to the system. And availability is whether is it a 24/7 application or is it a 5 days business days application. That kind of availability of the software that is going to be or being developed. Maintainability, extensibility, these are all non-functional requirements. In this course, let us just specify the names, and if you have any questions, please post. I am happy to respond back. Let's keep moving. Okay. So again, let's go back. Now we in this section we already talked about the definitions and of functional and non-functional requirements and who are involved. Who are involved? These are the roles. These are the persons that work in the software industry. First role is business analyst, and second role is functional or business users, architects, lead developer, project manager, scrum master. Project manager and scrum masters are roles who actually owns this project or software application, and they are actually like a coordinators. They take this software from requirement phase till implementation or till deployment and support and maintenance. There is a project. The difference between the project and a system is project will have definite start and definite end, whereas a system will have, it can be in the maintenance mode, so it will be going on, it will not have a definite end. But whereas a project will have definite start and definite end. I am also project management certified professional. I will give another video which talks about this project management, but for this context, let's go back to this requirement phase. And the role of this project manager is to coordinate, to document, and he is like a leader, and he is the accountable responsible person for this total SDLC, whatever the effort that we are doing. So that person is responsible for all these phases. So the project manager or scrum master will work with different individuals, look at their calendar, schedule the meetings, resolve any team conflicts, and try to keep the team moving to complete this project or application. Okay. What is the process? The process is the stakeholders. Okay, let's I think I documented a little bit. Let's go on to review it. Okay, what are the techniques are used during the requirement gathering? Okay, this is the process. The process is stakeholder discussions, brainstorming sessions, interviews, prototypes, and role play. Let's go back and see the techniques. What are the techniques that are being used? The techniques are understand the existing system or process. uh, it's a paper based existing process or system, could be paper based or existing software like mainframes. So we want to convert mainframes to Java or mainframes to Salesforce, something like that. Understand that. And the team, especially led by the business business analyst, the role is, this person is the key person. This person documents the deliverables, and he is responsible and accountable for that. So that person interviews different stakeholders, and with these kind of techniques, talking to them, trying to understand informal and formal interviews, questionnaires, like checklist kind of thing, workshops. They conduct a lot of workshops to do brainstorming sessions like what we outlined in this process. And this is a strategy. Smart means when we collect the requirements need to be specific, measurable, agreed by all the stakeholders, and realistic and time based. Yeah, they talk to, those words are self-explanatory. And also one of the important and interesting technique is come up with screen or visual prototypes. Let's go back to our example that we discussed. Okay, in the first session I told that this example we are going to take, and trying to see in each phase how we can develop the deliverables, or we'll take this example as a reference and explain each phase so that it helps. So this in this example we are in the requirement phase, right? So these are the general overview of the project or software that we are going to build. In the functional requirements, generally we will not get this kind of split, like this much categories. We need to, the business analysts need to work with the stakeholders, with the users specifically, to collect all that information. But for our example, I categorized into functional and non-functional. So the functional requirement, as we discussed, we want to have a landing page for the bank where user can enter username, password, and submit the button. A non-functional requirement is maximum 10 users, and after user enters username and password and hits the submit button, the software should respond back within 10 seconds with the account details. This is the requirement. Okay, so when we go back, the one of the techniques is use this screen or visual prototype, and another technique is to document the complete information, right? So these are the actors. So first we identify, based on these requirements, who are the actors, who are the people that are going to use the system. We know when the requirement says that I will upload this requirement and also this information to the codes, so that you can also refer, when you can pause these codes and refer and come back, or in the later point also you can revise it. That it is going to help. So let's go back to this requirement. In this requirement, what we are saying is the user enters. Who are the users? Users are the business users. So the business user, if you look at, so we identified actor as a business, bank account holder, or bank customer, and another user could be bank employee, who will create this user in the bank. And like a bank user can be bank employee, could be bank user like a teller or a branch manager, who really helps the customer when they open the account. Okay, these are the two actors for our simple use case. And the use case is on the browser, user enters this URL and user submit. Let's look at, this is a documented requirements. There is another way, right? Here we discussed about screen visual prototype. This is the documented requirements, and this is the prototype. So this is a user, and user types this URL, we said as per the requirements there is a username and password, and hit submit button. So this is, see, when during the requirement gathering, we need to use different tools to document so that it becomes easy for the people to understand what we are going to build, what kind of software, and what are the different attributes of the software. This helps, not only to verify the requirements with the business users, because we need to get the approval from the users. Not only that, this also helps architects, lead developers, project managers to go back and revisit the pictorial representation of the requirements of the requirements. So the screen prototypes is now one of the good ways. Now UX designs means there are some tools are coming in the market where instead of drawing, I drew this one using this Google drawing. Instead of using Google drawings, there are some efficient tools, UX design tools that business analyst, business analyst expert in gathering the requirements, they will use. So overall approach for this requirement phase is to capture the requirements, if possible verbally, if possible in the black and white, or pictorially, and whatever is feasible based on the team, and based on every organization will have some kind of a sort of a template to capture the requirements. So what are the validations, what is the precondition, post condition? I worked in almost six companies for the past 10 years. I saw in each company they have their own requirements to capture the uh, requirements phase outputs. So overall this requirement phase, we discussed about what is the goal, who are involved, what is the process, and here we discussed about the techniques and what are the definitions. I quickly put together a few use cases, identified the actors based on our requirements, and also created this simple pictorial representation. This is what the outcome of the deliverables of the requirement phases. I will upload these documents for your reference. Thank you a lot for watching. Appreciate it. See you in my next video.